And here we are back at the old table with another Pagani design. As you can see, this box is a little bigger than the one that I had on the last time I featured Pagani on the channel. It's actually optional. You can choose to buy the watch with the big box, and you can choose to buy the watch with the small box. Since I bought this from a Swedish retailer, they only featured the big box, so this is what I got. Let's open up the box, and there we have it. The Pagani watch of today. But first, let's take a look at the little things inside here. We have a Pagani design little tissue. We have the warranty card, Pagani design. We have user's manual, and we have a little card from svenskaklockor.se, swedishwatches.se. That's where I bought the watch. They actually sent it to me as a I did a giveaway with them for one of the Swedish Facebook groups. They sent me the watch for me to make a video of it and then send it back. I liked it really much, so I actually bought it, as you can see in my State of the Collection video. And yeah, svenskaklockor.se, great guys to buy watches from. But let's not talk about anything else. Let's get to the watch. We have spare links in there, the tag. Let's put away that, put away the pillow, and put away the box altogether, and take a look at these and take a look at this obvious Rolex Explorer 2 Homage. I know a lot of you get really angry when I call a watch like this a Homage watch. I know a lot of you have really strong feelings about these kinds of watches, but we're gonna leave that for what it is right now. You either like this type of watches, you either hate them, you either like them, or you maybe don't care at all. But nonetheless, you cannot, if you're denying that this watch is giving you value for money, then we're not in the same ballpark. We're not playing the same game, you and me, because this watch, just looking at the specs of it, and we're going to do that in just a little moment, is giving you a heck of a lot of value for the money that you pay. As you can see, it's a beautiful white dial watch, and it's spot on, resembling the Rolex Explorer 2. We have the white dial, we have the orange GMT hand, and as you can see, we have the stainless steel construction with the stainless steel bezel all around. There we have the crown with the Pagani design logo, and as you can see, we have polished sides on both sides here, and the top of the watch is actually entirely brushed. We have a polished detail running around the edge of the bezel there, but besides of those things, it's entirely brushed all the way around. The bracelet is brushed on the sides, on the top, beneath. We actually have screwed links right there, which you know that I love, but is also one of the negative things about this watch, and I'm going to talk about that later. We have a milled clasp with the Pagani design logo written horizontally there, nicely done, nicely polished. And then we have an open case back showing you the movement with the custom Pagani rotor right in there, showing you the Chinese movement that's beating inside, and some information on that on the back. Water resistant, 100 meters, stainless steel, Pagani design. As you can see, solid end links, and yeah, that's basically the watch. So let's talk about some specifications. The movement inside this watch is a Chinese movement, and it's called DG5833A. I did a little digging in. This is a Chinese Mingzhu movement. It has hacking and hand winding, and if you just wanted to buy the movement for itself, it seems like it costs $50 US. If we just screw out the little crown here, you can see that the watch will stop. There we go. Pull it out. The second hand, no, I haven't pulled it out all the way. There it is. Second hand stopped. And you can wind the watch. You can set the date if you turn it. You can set the date if you turn it up And if you want to set the GMT hand, you actually just spin the crown downwards and it sets the GMT hand separately. And then you pull it out one more step and you set the time. No, there we have it. You set the time. Really easy to function. No problems at all with the crown. It's a little small. The crown guards are a little small, but it's not like the Seiko that I just featured. It's not that small, but it's a little small. We have the Pagani design logo there. I'm just gonna take the hour hand out of the equation right there. It's a little more difficult when you have three hands to take away, but the Pagani design logo just beneath the 12. Then we have GMT automatic, water resistant, 10 bars, and that's 100 meters. Let's zoom in a little to give you some of those details on the dial. I'm just gonna screw in the crown there. There you go. And as you can see, we have applied indices, and it's a basic white dial with a date at the 3 o'clock with a Cyclops. The Cyclops is actually worthless. It might seem good when I'm showing it to you like this on camera, but it's not a good Cyclops at all. And I know that some people have actually removed it, and maybe I would have done that too if I decided to keep the watch, but I've actually already sold it and it's shipping away to its buyer right after this video. But it's a crappy Cyclops, and I wish that they just took it out of the equation. But I guess they had to put it in there because they really want to resemble their Rolex Explorer, and the Rolex Explorer has a Cyclops, so this watch has to have a Cyclops as well. But there's no problem with the alignment. Everything is spot on. Everything is 100% aligned. You know that I'm a stickler for that, so I have really checked it out and it's perfectly aligned. And there we go. So a little more about the specifications here. It's a stainless steel watch all around. The bracelet, the case, the bezel, everything is stainless steel. Almost everything is brushed, as I said before. Diameter 42 millimeters. The thickness is 12 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters, tapering down to 18 and then back to 20 at the clasp. The lug to lug is 49 millimeters on this one. It's a 3-link oyster style bracelet with screwed links, as I said. It's a milled clasp. On the back we have sapphire crystal, Cyclops at 3 o'clock, and the water resistance is 100 meters. And all this, wait a minute, just give me a second. Let's just put it on the wrist. I'm wearing the Seiko SKX 009 today with a faded bezel, but let's just put the Pagani on the wrist. One moment and I'm gonna actually tell you something about the watch. Let's put it on the wrist. Open it up easily. There we go. There we have it on the wrist. 20 centimeter wrist, 42 millimeter in diameter watch with a lug to lug of 49 millimeters. This is what it looks like on my wrist. And this watch, with all those specs, with the movement inside that on itself costs $50 US. Maybe you can find it cheaper. I didn't dig around a lot, but I found it for $50 on 2 or 3 sites. Everything for $140 US. Now you might have a strong opinion about the looks of this watch, and you might dislike it just because of that, and you might actually discard it just because of that. You don't want to have anything to do with Pagani design because they're stealing the design from Rolex. And you're entitled to your opinion, no matter what your opinion might be. But my opinion is that I'm not a lawyer, and I don't write the laws of copyright. I have no stakes in Rolex. I have no shares in Pagani design or Rolex or anything like that. This is a great watch. It looks fantastic because it steals or borrows its looks from the Rolex Explorer 2. But they're not actually, in my eyes, if it's legal, if it's not illegal, they're not doing anything wrong. This is just like, in my simple mind, if you're buying a pair of jeans that are not Levi's, all jeans basically look the same. If we were going by the same principle that only the one who made the original design should own that design, even though they haven't bought any copyright or anything on the design, then we should all be wearing Levi's jeans, because those guys actually made the first couple of jeans as they look today, and the basic jeans as they look today actually look like Levi's. So that's my opinion on the Homage discussion. This is a great looking piece, and for those people who for some reason can't afford a Rolex Explorer 2 or just don't want to buy a watch that is that expensive, this is a perfect alternative. It's not illegal, it's not a fake, it's not a replica, it's not sold on the streets illegally. It's a company who I guess pays taxes, has employed people, giving them monthly salaries or however they do it in China, and it's a legal watch with the looks of another legal watch who actually don't have a copyright on the design. So I really don't see the problem with this. A lot of watch companies actually start out by making a homage to another watch, like Phoebus, as I showed you with the PY007. That was a obvious Rolex Submariner homage. They made that watch, they started out with that watch, and now they've developed and actually they've discontinued the Phoebus PY007, and they only have original designs in their catalog. I don't know if Pagani will ever be that company, but a company like San Martin is actually doing the same thing. They have a bunch of homages, started out doing homages, and now they're doing their own designs as well. So it's not a, if I was a company owner, maybe I'd actually go the exact same route, because you know that when you're using a famous design that people know, that people like, there is a market for these kinds of watches. And I see that by just the views that I get on my channel when I feature these kinds of watches. There's a clear market for these kinds of watches, and they're here to stay, whether you like it or not. Until they for some reason get illegal, they're here to stay. So you get a lot of watch for your money. $140 actually gives you a lot of watch. Stainless steel, water resistance, sapphire glass, GMT movement, hacking and winding in the movement. But there are some negatives. Actually, there are some negatives about this watch. How beautiful and value-packed it, no matter how beautiful or value-packed it might be. The first negative is the Cyclops. As I said, the Cyclops is worthless. It's not. You should just remove it. Probably. It just makes the date look fuzzy, and it's a worthless Cyclops. The second thing is the lume. The lume is almost equally as worthless as the Cyclops. Sure, you can see the time for a little while, but it fades out really quickly, and then it's almost entirely lost. The lume on this one is worthless, just as the Cyclops. And then another thing that I actually found out on this watch, it is a little sharp. And I said that on my San Martin video as well. The underside of the case and the underside of the bracelet is a little too sharp for my liking. After wearing it a while on your wrist, you actually feel it scraping away a little. And I actually have a dear friend of mine, he also owns this watch. He says that his underside is smooth. I don't know if we have different opinions about what is smooth and what isn't, but for my liking, this is just a little too sharp to be comfortable. Maybe you can do something about that easily, but maybe Pagani the next time could just polish it up and give it a little softer touch for the next batch. And then we have one more negative thing that I actually thought of while talking about the bracelet here, and that's the screws. And you might be wondering, what are you talking about? You love screwed links. And yeah, I love screwed links, but these links, these screws on this watch, it's actually the first time I actually have had screws unscrew themselves on me on a watch bracelet. They unscrew themselves, so I have to, when I removed a couple of links to size the watch, I actually had to put in some Loctite just to keep them in place, because you don't want your watch falling off your wrist while you're just walking around. So that's a negative. Maybe they could just have done that in the factory. All things put aside, this is a wonderful, wonderful watch, and I'm gonna put it on my right wrist for you guys, because I know that you like to see it on an arm without any tattoos, and I'm gonna do that right now before I close up this video. There we go. There it is on my right hand. No tattoos. That's what it looks like, with the white dial and that hairy arm that you all love to see. There it is, the Pagani design PD1682, the Explorer 2 Homage. A great looking watch that is value packed and feels good on your wrist, except for that sharpness on the bracelet and the actual watch. So I don't know what you think. Please let me know. What do you think about Homage watches? Do you think this is even allowed to be called a Homage, or is this just a blatant copy or a replica? Or what's your opinion about Homages? I'd love to know. And do you agree with me that this watch is actually value packed? If you just take away the Homage discussion, is it a value packed watch for $140, considering everything you get in this one? So give me your opinions in the comments below, and as usual, if you liked what you saw here, please consider giving me a thumbs up, and if you liked it really much and would like to see more, please consider subscribing, because that actually helps me out a lot. And if you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down, tell me what you didn't like, and I'll do my best to make a better video the next time. Until the next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.